Welcome back, everybody. We're going to talk about a topic that a lot of people might have heard but might not fully understand, and especially if people haven't gotten into PulseChain yet. What a lot of people are saying is that it's the world's largest airdrop. It's the marketing, it's the slogan. World's largest airdrop, PulseChain. Check out all your free coins. But what does that actually mean? Okay, a lot of people don't know what that means. I'm going to break it down so by the end of this video, you're going to understand what that means, the opportunity that it presents to you, and also whether or not you literally have free money sitting on the table, and what you can do about it with you and your community to potentially migrate liquidity or just do any form of basic effort to potentially pump the coin that you got copied for free on the ERC, on the PulseChain blockchain. So look, if you were holding any ERC20 tokens, any Ethereum-based tokens on your MetaMask wallet, you had to have your own private keys on May 13th. If you had any coins before that date, they're all copied. Every single coin is copied. All the smart contract addresses are copied one for one. So, if you held Aave, you had like 15 Aave, let's say. Well, now you've got 15 Aave copied on the PulseChain blockchain. Some people call them eAave and pAave. All right, now this is a review, but it's going to get more interesting. So follow along with me. Stay with me because I'm going to tell you guys about actual opportunity that, it's almost too easy for some of these coins just to pump because they're just like sitting ducks waiting for a pump. And all it takes is some tiny little semblance of a community to get behind them, rally behind them. And a lot of times what we've been seeing, guys, it's kind of funny. We've been seeing a lot of these PRC20 copied tokens pumping. And they're not even pumping based off the original community. It's just like a forked new degen community of a bunch of guys that are like, hey, you know what? We could probably just pump this like CRO thing, for example. Like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the actual CRO community migrated over, but I didn't even know that they had a community. I could be wrong, right? But what I think is happening right now is a lot of people are choosing these PRC20 coins because they're very pumpable. And they all have more or less of some kind of a narrative behind them. And some narratives are stronger than others. For example, PDAI and WBTC, those are actually extremely powerful narratives. People are literally guessing and gambling on the fact that the forked stablecoin version, yes, the DAI stablecoin from Ethereum that got forked onto PulseChain, it now has a non-zero value. And a lot of these PRC20 token copies, they have a non-zero value. They're all varying degrees of, worthless or actually worth something. But it's all about the narrative, and it's all about, who can you get behind it to drive that narrative. Now, I don't have enough time in the day to make every single one of these PRC20s my little pet project and, pump all these to the moon. But for example, I would love to see PDAI pegged to $1, and that is the conspiracy theory. There's a lot. It goes really deep, by the way, guys. If you really want to check out the conspiracy behind PDAI and even WBTC, go follow the Telegram groups, okay? There's like Telegram groups popping up for a lot of these forked tokens. And what's really interesting is that obviously, the PDAI to $1 meme is simple, right? Oh, it's a forked stablecoin, but it's not worth $1. It might get to $1 one day if we all just collectively agree and, social consensus that it just becomes $1 because we know it's $1. And there's interesting aspects of that too. Like, WBTC, you actually can't make any more of them. It's actually more scarce than Bitcoin because Bitcoin is still being inflated. PDAI, I think somebody did something on the smart contract level that made it so you can't actually mint any new PDAI. Unless you have a PUSDC. And that's a whole rabbit hole, okay? What I'm saying is some of these rabbit holes are very interesting. The PDAI narrative has a lot of potential. I would be like, my mind would be absolutely blown if it pegged. Okay, I would make a lot of free dollars just by sitting around and doing nothing because thank God I didn't sell my stable coins in the early days. But look, if you have PUSDC, if you had any stable coins before May 13th, they're all copied onto PulseChain and they're all worth something like, 0.2 of a penny. Right? But so for bigger holders, right? Maybe you're out there, maybe you're a whale out there that didn't know about this yet. You heard about PulseChain, you heard about the world's largest airdrop, but you didn't know what that meant. It means you have literally free coins sitting there. So if you had 100 grand, you've probably got like 10,000, 1,000, you've probably got like $200 worth of free money in stable coins if you had $100,000 of stable coins. Does that make sense? And it's worth checking out all these. And you can do that really quickly by going right here to this website. Look on the screen right here. This is all you need to do. It's so simple. You copy and paste your public address into this website. This is pulsecoinlist.com. Pulsecoinlist.com. I'll post the link below. Don't worry. It's going to be there. Click on check PulseChain balance right up in the top right corner here. Okay. Click on check PulseChain balance. All right. And then you copy and paste your address right in here. And it's going to tell you how many free coins you got in the copy. All right. It might take you a second or two. And look at that. $31. Okay. And this was for a wallet that was just my dummy wallet, right? Because I had hacks and stuff like that. Now, some coins that copied over, most coins that copied over, guys, it should be obvious. The ERC20 version is worth more than the PRC20 version. But there's a whole segment of coins where the PRC20 versions are actually worth more than the ERC20s. Now, obviously, these are going to be like the Richard Heart ecosystem coins. You're going to have Hex, Icosa, Hedron, Communist. All right. I don't know. I'm always going to butcher that name. Communist coin. All right. All these coins and even some other ones, even some that kind of surprised me, are actually worth higher. And there's no reason that they can't be worth more on PulseChain than they can be on Ethereum. Like, you can actually migrate the liquidity over. If you're having a hard time trading or getting people to trade your coin on the Ethereum blockchain, this is what we did with the Polygon network back in the early days of the last cycle. Okay, in 2020, 2021, we migrated Hex liquidity to Polygon. You can do the same thing with your ERC20 coins. You could migrate them over to PulseChain. You can just do all your trading there. I don't see a lot of people doing that yet, but if your individual community is tired of being eaten alive by gas fees and it's really hard to onboard a new user, when you tell them, oh, by the way, you have to have $1,000 of Ethereum in your wallet because every time you do a swap, it's going to cost you $50 or $25. So they're going to get chewed up within a couple of trades anyway. So you might as well be trading on a cheaper, faster blockchain, but all kinds of things you can do. You can migrate liquidity and just do your trading of the ERC20 over on the PulseChain network, or you could actually try what people have done with Hex, for example, is they've bridged in eHex into PulseChain and they've bonded it via liquidity to pHex. And the ratio, when the dust all settled, it's kind of sitting right now at about 0.5 to 1. So one eHex is worth about half of a pHex. They're two technically different coins, same exact code, same exact smart contract, but two completely different US dollar values. And, the theory right now is, well, okay, eHex is cheaper because there's higher fees on Ethereum, and so there's more utility on the Hex on PulseChain because people can actually stake without paying, hundreds of dollars in gas fees. Sure, that makes sense. But another conspiracy, another thing that people are trying to speculate on is that, is it impossible to actually get parity, one-to-one price parity? And we're going to talk about that in a minute, so stay tuned, all right? But yeah, this is the sacrifice checker. Guys, if you're brand new to PulseChain, you need to just be checking this out because this is how much free money you have. And even if you don't want the coins, maybe you just want to dump them for PLS or dump them for Hex or something and just let it ride so that you have some skin in the game for the Richard Heart ecosystem for the next bull run. And maybe you want to experiment and dip your toes in the water and go deeper. But we're going to scroll down to the bottom here. We're going to scroll down all the way to the bottom. There's a little link. This link will be in the description below. It's called ERC20 versus PRC20 comparison. All right, so I'm on this comparison chart right now. We're going to pick out a couple of coins just to explain what's been going on and how successful some of these ERC20, PRC20s have been, or unsuccessful. Some of them have just not been successful. Now I'm going to click outliers removed. So I got to click this button when I'm on this page. So if you want to do this at home, try to remove the outliers. That definitely helps right there. All right, now we're going to sort by difference, percent difference. Okay, so the ones in green, all the green ones are basically the ones where the PulseChain price is higher than the Ethereum price. And I'll show you how much higher. Like, for example, look at Hedron. Hedron on PulseChain is 15% higher than Hedron on Ethereum. Hex on PulseChain is about 84, it's almost double. It's about 87% higher than Hex on the Ethereum side. So the Hex and the Hex derivatives, right? Icosa is a Hex derivative. It's 21 cents over on PulseChain. It's 9 cents over on Ethereum. But because these are Hex derivatives and they're so closely tied to the Hex ecosystem, you actually have this case where the PRC20 is higher. And that's kind of to be expected, but that could happen with really anything. Hedron, Icosa, Communist, Hex. Okay, these are all the main ones that are actually higher. So what you're seeing right now is this emergent properties. You've even got some meme coins up here. Pulse Doge Coin, and Poor Pleb. These were some of the original Richard Heart ecosystem meme coins. And because they were so old, they actually launched back on Ethereum too. So when the fork happened, now they've got two different prices on two different chains. But Poor Pleb is a good example. Like, it's getting 6.7 times higher valuation on the PulseChain network than it is on the Ethereum network. So it's very possible that your coin, especially your meme coin, if you have a meme coin community out there and you're not migrating it over to PulseChain, you might want to consider doing that because all the coins are copied over there if you had them before May 13th or whatever. But look, this is just proof that it's easily possible, especially if you're a PulseChain centric meme coin. If your meme coin community was based from the Hex PulseChain ecosystem, chances are you're going to have an easier time having a higher price on the PulseChain network. But any coin can really do this if they just decide. Any community can just decide to pop up, take control of the narrative, kind of like the PDI things did. I did not expect that was going to happen. It's kind of crazy that the PDI thing might actually work. I don't know. I'm still very skeptical. There's a long way to go till $100 or to $1 parity. But at the same time, there's a long way to go, meaning that's a good thing, right? There's like 300 X's on the table left if it actually goes to $1. Now, I'm not buying it. I'm not trading it. Well, I got me a tiny bag from the fork, and if it's $1, that's great. I get a whole bunch of free dollars that I didn't even expect. Now we go down and we scroll down when the green turns to red, okay? Look how the green's turning to red right here. Now we can see all the normal coins from the ERC Ethereum network that are more expensive on ETH and not as expensive on PulseChain. But you might have some of these coins. CRO is a great example. CRO, Crypto.com coin, this one just mooned massively. So if you're a CRO holder, this is what this means. This is how much free money you have. If you held CRO before May 13th and you haven't checked out your free airdrop yet, CRO is worth 8 cents on Ethereum, but 3 cents on PulseChain. It's pretty significant, right? That's like 33% of your money for free. Okay? Because you just take the however much, like 66%, and take the opposite of that to get to 100. Look, if you had a bag of $10,000 of CRO coin, you now have like $3,000 more of CRO coin. That makes sense? Cult DAO. You might have had this cult token. All right. Cult token is actually the token that got the closest of migrating their whole community. They got so close. And look, the battle, the war is not over yet. The battle might be lost, but right now the cult DAO token, it's got, 1427 over price on the Ethereum side, 946 price on the PulseChain side. They actually got within 33% of price parity. So if you held cult DAO token and you somehow didn't know about this, now I feel like every cult holder knows about this. All right, everybody knows. But if you're just somehow sitting on a bunch of cult, all right, well, you got a copy that's worth 66% of the original copy. So there's only, you basically got 2/3 of your bag for free. Like, it's awesome. Okay, so you need to be checking out PulseChain, whether you like it or not. You might just have money sitting there. Okay, and there's a whole bunch of other ones like Salt's token. I don't know if this is Salt lending from back in the day, but Salt somehow got revived. Salt token, I mean, we can see here it's been pumping hard. It's actually only gone up on the PulseChain network relative to Pulse. It just kind of looks like a random bull flag flat line. But look, Salt token is going up. So if you held Salt on the Ethereum blockchain, you have 15% of your Salt value, or no, what is that? 25% of your value for free in the form of P-Salt. P-Salt and E-Salt, okay? So there's P tokens and there's E tokens. I know, we live in this parallel universe now, so you got to get used to that. Celsius is another one that was surprisingly, I guess you could say, successful. Like, this one pumped a little bit too. So if you're a bag holder of Cell token, it sucks to be you. I'm sorry that you lost all your money from Mashinsky, but if you're holding the token, this might make up for it a little bit. You got 15% free money. You've got basically a Cell token is worth 9 cents on Ethereum, but it's worth 1.2 cents. 1.3 cents on the PulseChain network. So that's 15% of the original that you just have in your wallet if you didn't check this out already, right? Ben token is doing okay. Pepe coin is worth about 10% of an ePepe. So P Pepe is worth 10% of an ePepe, roughly. It's always going to fluctuating. Gala token, you got 5% of your bag for free if you're holding Gala, okay? People might not know this yet. I don't know if the Gala community has actually taken the time to explore the PulseChain community yet, because there's non-zero value over here. And let's pull up the chart, shall we? This is the copy of Gala on PLS. And look, it looks like it's just slowly creeping up, right? Like after the initial, a lot of people talked a lot of shit in the early days. They said, oh, PulseChain's a scam. They didn't want it. But now that we're 8 months in, 9 months in, and it's clear that we're not going anywhere, you could see some of these coins slowly being brought back to life. They're coming back from the dead. And this one hasn't even really pumped yet. Like this Gala token, like if the community, what I'm saying is if the community wanted to, they could all rally behind this and pump their free copy up to the moon. They could at least get it to be like maybe 25% of the Ethereum version, maybe 30-40%. And then that's all just free money for the original community. They're just increasing their bag size. And then they can go sell that Gala for Pulse, or, they can rotate those profits into whatever other coin they want to. Especially, there's a lot more opportunities on the PulseChain network for native PulseChain coins too. But it's a good starting place, especially if you already have a huge bag, Get your buddies together, make a Telegram group, and say, look, this is a cheaper, faster, alternate reality universe. So we could just all agree that this one has more value, start trading it a little bit, and at least maybe Hex is a good example, right? Hex is locked right now. Hex is locked at a ratio of about 0.5 to 1. So the E-Hex, P-Hex price parity ratio, it didn't get to price parity like everyone's hoping for. It didn't get there yet. It still could be 1 to 1, but Hex has done a good job of maintaining for the last 8 months. It's kind of reverted back to the mean. Very interestingly, look at the screen. At about 50%. E-Hex is worth about 50% of a Hex. And if you want to do the ratios, you got to go up here where my mouse is. It's always going to default you to USD. you got to look at the ratio by clicking on hex, not USD. All right, that'll change the y-axis so that you can see the ratio. And the more and more people make liquidity pools like this, like you can go look and you can go take Gala coin and you can make an eGala/Gala pair. That basically means an eGala P-Gala pair. Like you guys can do that. Anybody can do this. There's nobody stopping them. You can just go to PulseX and create the liquidity pair, or go to any other DEX on PulseChain, create the liquidity pair. And there's all kinds of opportunities here. Like Dogelon is like not doing terrible. 5% free money there. Ironically, guys, the Shiba community, I tweeted out to the Shiba community the other day. I thought these were one of the strongest communities in all of crypto, but they don't seem to have cared that much about their free copy token. Now they do have about 2%. So if you're a Shiba holder, congratulations, you've got 2% of your money for free. So if you're holding 10 grand of Shiba, basically you got $200. So it's not nothing, right? It's worth getting out of bed for. Free $200, right? It's like if you drop $200 on the floor, would you pick it up? I'd probably pick it up. Okay, I wouldn't just let it blow away. Pepe, same thing. You got about 1.3% free money on the table. But the funny thing is all the original DeFi stuff, like the OG Ethereum DeFi, like Uni token, Chainlink, Aave, Curve, all the high IQ nerdy stuff, right? Look at this Chainlink. These are all basically almost worthless. No one's really tried to really pump these too hard yet. Let's see what Chainlink did. I think Chainlink had a little pump. Yeah, it did have some activity in the early days, but they're all kind of dead. And these are just, in my opinion, narratives waiting to be revived. If the people holding them, or if some people in the PulseChain community want to grab hold of them and stir up some noise. Because look, let's say you just try to revive the dead Uni token, right? You say, I've got a big bag of Uni. It's kind of flatlined for a while, but it's still not zero. It's still got some activity. You might actually be able to bring in the Ethereum boys and girls over there that haven't even heard about it yet. If you make it interesting to, the original holders on the Ethereum side, you don't even have to be from the Ethereum side. You could just be some guy on PulseChain that's trying to drum up attention for stuff like Compound and Curve. And this is all the OG Maker, Aave token. These are just, nobody seems to care about them. So either they're low-hanging fruit or maybe just nobody cares, and that's fine. Maybe they're just going to always die and just sit there forever. But this is what world's largest airdrop means, all right? So I've got a whole, tracker over here. So, again, these are some common ones, right? Some popular ones. DAI, Wrap Bitcoin. These two right here, probably one of the most interesting narratives that we've got. Why is it interesting? One more reason is that, the ratio of PDAI to P-Wrapped Bitcoin is actually hovering somewhat close to around, the actual US dollar price. Like it's something like 35,000 DAI per wrapped Bitcoin. And at one time, it was the exact same number of DAI per wrapped Bitcoin, PDAI per wrapped Bitcoin, as it was for regular DAI to E-Wrapped Bitcoin. I was just like, what are the chances of that? All right. Shiba, you're over here. Shiba community's out here. Shout out to all them. But if you want to migrate, your Shiba coin's only worth about 1.6% of the PulseChain, of the Ethereum version. CRO, on the other hand, is somehow worth 37%. CRO holders get 37% free money. Chainlink, Aave, Uni, again, these guys got almost nothing, right? 0.1, 0.2%. Still free money is free money. 0.2% of $1 million is still like $2,000. Gala, okay, Gala, you get 5% free money. Pepe, you've got 8% free money. Celsius, 14% free money. If you just didn't know about this yet, if you've just been bag holding these on the Ethereum side. And then Cult, you've got 66% of your money is free, right? Cult got actually very, very close. And then, of course, you've got the Hex and Hex derivatives, COM, Hedron, Icosa, Hex. COM on the PulseChain side, by the way, is like 100x higher than COM on the Ethereum side. Nobody even cares about COM on the Ethereum side anymore because it costs too much to claim it, right? It just, the gas fees have totally priced out anybody to mint COM on the Ethereum side. COM's an interesting one, guys. I've actually bought a couple $100 of COM in the past couple months, all right? So I'm stacking it up because I feel like it might pop off once people understand it. And I'm still trying to understand it. If we get enough liquidity in the right places with COM, I think that COM could be, let me just say it's very scarce and it's worth me doing a whole video on it. That's for another video, okay? I'm going to do another video on COM, but just know that that's a very scarce token and it's got very low mintability. So, and it also has somewhat of a price floor established already. I got to figure out how to word all that stuff better. Another video on COM later, but Hedron, right? Hedron is trading double. P-Hedron is double what the E-Hedron is worth. Icosa lately just went on a tear. Okay, so shout out to anyone holding Icosa. This is also worth its own video because I think the fair price of Icosa should be somewhere around 50, 60 cents maybe. I mean, it's a hex ratio that's, it's actually underpriced relative to the fair hex value per Icosa. Again, that's complicated. You don't have to worry about that. But what I'm saying is P-Icosa is 241% of E-Icosa. Same thing with Hex. P Hex is worth 186% of E Hex. All right, so I just did the ratio multiplied by 100 as a percentage. All right, and if you want to check out all the details on these, go to dexscreener.com. You can always get the contract addresses right here. And remember, the PRC and ERC20 contract addresses are exactly the same. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about world's largest airdrop. So if you are a crypto holder, if you had any coins before May 13th, any of these coins, you can go to this comparison website. I'll leave this in the description below so you yourself can go in and just see, oh, is my coin worth anything? Your coin might not even be in this list, and it might still be worth something. This list is not a catch-all, all right? Remember to click the outlier remove button. And of course, if you just go to the PulseChain airdrop button and copy paste your address here, check PulseChain balance, and you can see how much are your PRC20 copy coins actually worth. You definitely don't want to sleep on this, guys. You definitely don't want to miss out, especially in the bull run. All these things are just ripe opportunities to be pumped. Okay, you can make up any narrative you want. Price parity narrative, liquidity migration narrative, P died to $1. You can get creative if you want. Or you don't have to do anything at all. Just dump the coins and run away. It doesn't matter, but do not sleep on this. Do not miss out and leave free money on the table. Guys, like the video, share it, leave a comment, subscribe. It all helps everything go viral. And if you're brand new to crypto, I've got a course called hexpassiveincome.com. It's still not too late, but get it before the bull run really kicks off. If you're brand new to crypto, specifically, that's for you. All right, guys, see you on the next video.